So you understand why I am doing this video with our beautiful castle behind. Um, you may ask yourself why you don't get commissions. Everyone composer, every composer of media is asking this nowadays. The beginners, of course, no? And there are many answers for this. So one answer is that you underrate what is possible out there in terms of musical demand. We have a so-called industry of the cliche. Okay, we have the industry of aesthetic recepts, and this is very clear with Hollywood. And when they do a new movie today, we know that they are following some recepts, and the recepts, they have the genre. So you have drama, you have fantasy, you have comedy, and it's everything very like in the fast food, like in McDonald's. You want the 1, the 2, the 3, and it's everything ready made. Okay, there is this dimension of things, but you probably underrate the amount of possibility that you have outside of this. So when people speak, for example, about fantasy music, and many times they speak about fantasy music in the context of this industry of the cliche. Okay, so some directors, they will have very clear expectations about how fantasy music would sound, and many composers already exactly in this genre, meeting such expectations, and then it is perfectly fine to teach how to do this. Okay, and then we have a lot of content in this direction. However, the universe of what we could call fantasy or medieval music is absolutely fascinating and insanely huge. And depending on what you want to do, you need more technique than you think. Okay, it's not just about taking a progression of pop music and putting there a medieval instrument or a harpsichord playing a pop music progression. Okay, this would fit probably in this dimension of the cliche fantasy music, and it's very competitive genre, and it might be easier to do, harder to mix well, because it's a more competitive market, and this is why this is already a cliche. This is saturated. Okay, so it's like Formula 1. The people are competing for milliseconds. So if you understand, however, that there is a world outside of it, and principally, and this is a very important fact, that many directors, many producers of movies, of animations or video games, they are not satisfied with the industry of the cliche. Okay, so even in the category medieval music or fantasy music or historical composition for media, you will find many people that you could regard as alternative or crossover or underground or experimentalists or revolutionary or avant-garde. Okay, there are people trying to do something new. An example is this project I have been working for with the Castlevania. I did things there that it would be not accepted in a project that is expecting a more cliche approach to things. So always when you start using counterpoint or techniques that are very very precise from the historical point of view, you are already going outside of the industry of the cliche when we are talking about fantasy or medieval music. Many people, they don't understand, for example, the difference between Baroque, Renaissance, or classicism. So so you can't underrate also the knowledge of some film directors that are out there waiting exactly for someone perhaps like you, as they waited for me. Okay, decisive is to know which type of industry you want to enter, so to say, the alternative industry or the more cliche mainstream industry. The cliche mainstream industry is highly competitive. So if you think that you are doing you are going to compose orchestral music for a feature film very soon, you are probably wrong. I mean, statistically speaking, okay? I don't know who you are. Maybe you are the guy. But statistically speaking, this is not realistic. And probably this person should also consider what is going on in other types of aesthetics, okay? And to believe that other creators, movie makers or animators, illustrators, other people are also interested many times in a new and fresh expression. Although we are still speaking about this traditional concept of mythological themes, fantasy themes, medieval stories, and all those past stuff. Okay, so still in this category, you have place for innovation, principally when you combine the new electronic techniques with a very precise knowledge of historical techniques. This is more or less what I have been doing in the last in the last years. I try some things that I did. I try to compose such a way that you can exactly be totally sure if I will stay strictly in a historical composition or if I will break this and bring an element of avant-garde or of new experimentalism into it. So if you consider that there is a saturated market and that people and that there are people who want to produce things that are a kind of opposition to this, or an alternative to this, you will see things from another point of view and probably get more possibilities there. The decisive thing for you is to decide what is your passion, so to say, and what really will connect your passion to your profession in a successful manner. And to understand that, depending in the direction that you want to go, you will have to study more or less. So composition, harmony, styles, analyze music. For example, the more you go into this hybrid aspect of media composition, the more you have to invest in your techniques of mixing and so on. I mean, invest in the techniques of mixing from the creative point of view, because this is the essence of hybrid composition. It's not exactly. It's not only that you know how to get a crispy orchestral sound or perfect sounding like John Williams, but it is also understanding all the mixing tools as still parts of the compositional process. It's totally another frame, okay, of mind. And you can also connect this with early music, with medieval music, with fantasy music in a very alternative and avant-garde sense. So people that don't speak so much about this, probably because as the name shows, it is a mainstream cliche industry that will always dominate, and the people who are outside, for example, filmmakers or all such things, you don't even know them, okay? But they are making job posts as well, or they are searching for people as well. So depending on the character of your art, depending on your artistical character, you have to consider if you really want to compete in the mainstream industry of the cliché, or if it makes more sense that you start from now on to develop techniques that will satisfy also the directors that are unsatisfied with all the mainstream Hollywood cliché that is being reproduced there in Hollywood or being imitated by many studios around the world. So it's a very important possibility that you have to consider, that some people, they are looking ahead in the future, considering that this aesthetic, this market is already over. For example, saying with one word, pop music progressions with harpsichord and whatever, that gives a pseudo aspect of early music that is actually not there. Okay, so think about how this could influence your study of compositional techniques from now on, and believe that there are many directors out there that are probably expecting that you are able to do exactly this, that you, in the context of a story about mythology or fantasy, that you are able to compose a flawless motet sounding like Palestrina. Okay, consider that there's options, or that you, in the context of a 2D game, are able to compose music like Guillaume Dufay, but still put a synthesizer under it that is kind of totally mind-boggling. Okay, so understand the beautiful dimension of the concept of fantasy when it comes to fantasy. It's not simple. So what I feel is that people are killing the fantasy that is inside of the concept of fantasy, and what is out there is one of the possibilities. Okay, I still can find even beautiful music there, but it's just one of the possibilities. And if you close your vision, this might be a reason why you are not getting some commissions already from more independent people, that, okay, they may pay a little bit less, but you have to see the things long term. And I suppose you are working somewhere, or that you get money from the parents, no? As everyone gets and no, don't talk about. So, ciao, ciao.